Hello and welcome back to the DUNE 3 workshop series with me, Demis Hellen, where we take a deep dive into the features of DUNE 3. In this episode, I'm going to show you how we can use oscillator number 3 as an envelope, and also as a bonus, how we can use the M-segs as envelopes as well. And this is going to be done on the previous acid preset we created, and we're going to create an accent using these techniques. And before we get started, we are using the preset that we made in the last video. So if you want to grab that preset, you can watch the previous video and then get the free download so you can follow along in this one. But this is about adding the accent. It's not the sound design of this particular preset because we've already done this. And the only difference with this preset is I've turned off the distortion, so we got more of the natural 303 sound with just a little bit of light distortion from the filters. And I've adjusted the envelope amount just a little bit so it opens a little bit further. So some of you may have noticed that we are on page 3, or the noise oscillator section as well, but we can load wave files into there and we can have some organic sounds in there. You can layer anything you want into the sound design, but there's a little known fact that you can actually draw envelopes in here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And as you can see, I've already got an accent file in there. So let's take a look at what we're working with. You can see we've got an envelope shape, we've got the attack, decay, and then the sustain, which is down flat. As you can see, it just goes a bit below, but it doesn't need to be perfect. We're just looking at this first section here. And don't worry, this is available to download, so you can grab that in the link in the description. So if you want this file, you can add this file in there. And this particular file I actually made using a wavetable editor and just exported a single frame, just drew this in and exported that as a single frame WAV file. And then I loaded that in here and you get that singular shape there. But the beauty of this is we can grab the pencil tool and we can change this up. So if we want to extend that, we can extend the length of this to the end. So we have a longer decay, and we can add various other shapes if we wanted to. But we are working with this envelope shape, just a nice quick sharp decay. So jumping back out, we can actually control the length of that. So like we can control the decay, sustain, and release here on the envelopes, we can control how fast that sample plays by using the semitone control here. So we can have it faster by going higher, and we can have it slower by going lower. And for now, I'm going to leave that on slow, so when we set the mod matrix up, we can then have the accents. And with that said, let's start creating the accent by setting it up in the mod matrix. But we need to make one adjustment to the oscillator mixer here. So I'm going to bring this down to about 85%. And the reason for that is because we're going to use this wave file here, the accent file, to control the oscillator mixer level and also the filter 1 level. So with that said, we can start setting up the accent now that we know that we've got that wave file loaded in. So we're going to control the oscillator mixer level and the filter cutoff level. So they're going to accent those two a little bit as it's playing. And in order for that to work, we need to drop the oscillator level. We've got wiggle room in the cutoff. You can see that's roughly 50% of the way around. And then we need to drop this. So I'm going to drop this to about 85%, and that will give us some wiggle room of 15% volume for the accent to actually work. So let's start by loading in the destination. So we know that we want to control the filter cutoff, filter 1. And the other one, we want to control the mixer level. So we need to go into common and mixer volume. And now that we have the two destinations, we can load in the sources, which is the wave file. So we need to load oscillator 3 in here. So I'm just going to load oscillator 3 into both of these. And we're going to leave those amounts at 0 because we don't want them to control that. We're going to use the mod wheel to control that along with the actual filter movement. So at the moment that you're not going to hear anything. But we're going to change that now. So we're going to load in 2 mod wheel sources. Then we can connect the 2 mod wheel sources to these 2 destinations, which is filter 1 cutoff and the mixer volume. So we can do that by clicking the drop down, going down to mod matrix, and then we can choose the lane that it's on. So oscillator 3 filter cutoff is on lane number 2. So we can say modulation matrix amount number 2. And then the same goes for this one, which is on lane 3, mod matrix amount 3. And in order for you to hear what's going on, I'm going to increase this whilst I am playing the preset back. So with that, you can start to hear the accent, but it's not too pronounced at the moment, and that's because we've got the semitone dial turned right down. So that means this particular shape is really slow at the moment, and we need to make it faster so it's reacting quicker and it's a lot sharper. So as I move this dial, you're going to hear that become more pronounced. So I'm going to leave the mod wheel halfway, so it's sort of like half open. It's best to hear it that way. So now you can hear it really clicking. So now we can hear that envelope is playing really quickly. So it's playing that file back really quick. So if we bring it back down, you'll start to hear more of that grunginess coming through from the preset design. And it sounds nice about there. What I'm going to do is just double click and reset these two amounts so you can hear the difference between this one and what we had before. So you can clearly hear the accents have disappeared there. And there we are. We can see that is how to use the third oscillator to create an envelope and create an accent. And of course, we can actually do this in the MSEGs as well. So we can create a very similar shape. I'll just create an envelope like so. So something very similar. I'm just going to give these a curve and that a curve. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll make this full length. Set this into a bar, which it already was on. And then we can just replace oscillator 3 with MSEG 1, because that's the one we've used. Let's just find the other one. So you can see it's pretty slow at the moment, so we can tailor the bend in that. We can tailor the speed, so I'm going to turn off sync. Let's just turn this mod wheel up a little bit. I'm just going to bring the envelope down a little bit. So you can see that works exactly the same as the third oscillator technique. We're using the semitone control to speed up how fast it's cycling through that particular shape. And we're doing the same here using the rate knob and controlling how quick that is doing it as well. And both do have roughly the same functionality. We can draw in here and tailor up the curve and how we want it to be. And we can do exactly the same here. Like I said before, we can start drawing it in and changing it up exactly how we want. And depending on what best suits your workflow, you do have those two options to choose from. Personally, I do like the oscillator way. It's nice and discreet in the sound design, and it leaves your MSEGs free if you want to do some more complex sound designing. And there we have it. You now have your own TB303 preset in DUNE 3 complete with accents. As usual, if you have any questions about what you've seen in today's video, please let us know down in the comments. And with that said, thank you very much for watching. I've been Demis Hellen, and I'll see you in the next one.